You're watching NappyCast by Jason Nappy Weather. I'm tracking a summer pattern. The first day of summer, the solstice, is on Friday, but obviously we've got springtime severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, the threat for baseball-sized hail, wind, and temperatures making a run for the triple digits. That's all coming up in the forecast here. See on the satellite picture, we got all that moisture over the plains right now. See all this. This is left over from what happened yesterday. All that big time cloud cover in the atmosphere. Up here towards the southeast, the northeast, you've got pretty much regular cloud cover, some fog that's locked in over across southern Maine right now. Okay, nothing overly significant there, but we are going to have a cold front continue to push towards the east next couple of days. That is going to bring that severe weather from the plains to the east coast in a couple of days, and also the heat and humidity here. So on the surface analysis, you've got your warm front. That's a dividing line right now between where it is not that warm, northeast mid-Atlantic, and where it's very warm and humid, southeast, pushing up the mid-Atlantic. And you've got a feature here coming down from Colorado, okay, that's going to interact with this boundary here and spark more showers and thunderstorms in the low plains, okay, in the southern plains. So watch out today. Another threat for severe weather after Minnesota got raked over yesterday by some pretty big tornadoes, if you saw any of those pictures on social media. So here it is. Low pressure coming down from Colorado, down from the mountains, interacting with this stationary boundary. You've got a warm front that's going to lift north, close to New England and into New England. That's going to bring heat and humidity. And you've got a cold front marching into the southeast to bring showers, thunderstorms, and cool things off briefly before we warm right back up again. So I'm going to show you the mid-levels of the atmosphere where the water vapor imagery is, so you can see where moisture is. Look at all this green here in the southern plains. That is the leftover shower and thunderstorm system. We call it a little MCS, mesoscale convective system. So that system, and then another one here that's kind of cutting in from Colorado, is going to interact with this leftover boundary and spark more severe showers and thunderstorms. In southern Florida, you've got dry air coming in. Nice day for Miami up to Jupiter with that dry air, mid-levels of the atmosphere. And also you've got moisture that's coming up and pushing with a warm front into the northeast. Okay, let's look at things right now. Also, very high fire danger out in the Four Corners, out in the desert southwest. I want to focus right in on the severe weather outlook today. It's a level 4 out of 5 threat. 5 is the highest of the scale, and this is, once again, a public severe weather outlook. A look right now at Kansas, where the bullseye is. Most of Kansas, a portion of Oklahoma, back towards Colorado. You see that here. Here is that threat. Also heading up north into Omaha, okay? So a threat for severe weather. Here is the greatest threat, but don't focus just on that. Also a level 3 threat here outside of that bullseye, and a level 2 outside of that. This is going to be for baseball-size hail, okay? There will be a few tornadoes. There will be a bunch of wind, hurricane-force wind, 70 to even 90 or 100 miles an hour. So there's a broader look at that picture. You can see that threat here. Right in the heartland is where you have that level 2, 3, and 4 out of 5 threats. So you need to be weather aware today and have your severe weather plan in place if you are in the plains today. It's a level 1 threat back towards the southeast, heading up in the mid-Atlantic. But if I show you in more detail here, the tornado threat, so you can see in more detail, 2 to 5% threat here, right in the heartland, and a 2% here, getting very close to Washington, D.C., for example, for a 2% threat. Now, it sounds low, but anytime you got a threat for a tornado, and there's no such thing as a weak tornado, okay? I also want to go back, actually, and show you the wind here, because that's really going to be the much broader and wider, bigger threat with this, is you see here up to 30 to 45% threat here. Okay, once again, in the plains. It's mostly a wind threat, and also you are going to have hail too. Let me put the hail on, a 30% threat. So baseball size, that'll do damage to crops, to your car, get the car in the garage, the carport. Okay, and watch out, a lot of property damage, the threat is there. And then this is going to translate in a couple of days to a little bit of a system coming through on Saturday, late into Sunday for New England. I'm not going to talk too much about Thursday just yet, about later in the week. I want to talk about now this is going to be the third month in a row with rain. An MCS comes down from Canada here, and this is the third month in a row with rain in New England. Yes, I said month, not week, third month in a row. That's every weekend for 3 months, and that's the MCS. Now, it's very hard several days out to pinpoint where this MCS is going to be, but right now I'm confident that we are going to see rain for the third month in a row. That's every weekend for 3 months that we're going to see that MCS come through. Okay, so yes, not an all weekend washout, but right now the timing is late Saturday, early Sunday, but we'll see how much that changes. Now, let's talk about next week, okay? So after we get through the weekend rain, but before I get to next week, actually, let me stop for a second and show you what's going on later today and tomorrow, okay? Here is your trough, okay? That's your system coming through with the severe weather, okay? Here's your ridge building, but watch this ridge build off to the west, okay? This is going to be building for late Thursday into Friday. Watch that ridge amp up. Boom. This is Sunday. Here is your ridge. It's all amped up. You've got your center of high pressure right over the southeast, and your ridge is going to amp up and build because this trough digs. The more this trough digs, the more this ridge has to build here. A big old ridge. And you're going to have heat and humidity coming up from the Gulf, all the way up from the Gulf, okay? And that's going to flatten a bit, which means that without a cold front really doing too much penetration, because that ridge flattens a bit, that trough rides around it, okay? So this is going to be long duration, of heat and humidity. It's not going to break for a while. This goes all the way into Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week, of next week. So that is heat and humidity sticking around from Sunday into at least Wednesday of next week, from about Maine all the way down to the south. So I'll show you the temperatures the next 5 days here. Watch the temperatures cool down a little bit with the front, and then this is going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Look at the heat pushing east. So by Monday now, look at all of this heat around that ridge I just showed you, okay? You have a bona fide heat wave by late June standards, okay? Record-breaking heat in the forecast for a good 2/3 of the country, and this is going to be for Sunday, especially into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Now, it'll flatten a bit to the north Tuesday, Wednesday, but there's still going to be plenty of heat, and there will be triple digits, a run for 100 degrees there in the forecast for places on the East Coast especially. Now, the plains will get it sooner, but on the East Coast, it will be cranking up to 100 degrees. Widespread 90s, and there will be certainly some 100s in there. We're going to break records at the end of June. The first week of summer is here. Starting Friday night is the solstice into the weekend. So it's clouds and scattered showers and fog in Maine today. Focus now on Maine. My loyal followers there. Sun is out in Eastport. Clouds pretty much locked in today. We have an onshore flow. Any sunshine will be away from the coast. Eventually, Eastport will cloud up. Humidity rises, and then it's hot, humid with some thunder. Now, the thunder is not going to make it down to the coastline because we have that marine layer that is going to keep things stable. But in the mountains, you're going to have thunderstorms north Wednesday, late Thursday, and then Friday it's leftover showers. The cold front's going to sag south, and then here comes that system Saturday into Sunday. A very quick moving piece of rain there that's going to be coming through, and then we crank up the heat next week and the humidity at least mid-80s and humid. Now, inland has the best opportunity to make a run for the mid-90s to even 100 next week anytime you get away from the coastline. 70s and 80s this week, and then here comes that heat wave, especially Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. So typically, these wait until late July, but they can happen in May, and we're getting one this year. Now, officially, you have to have 90 for 3 days in a row for heat wave. That won't happen for the most part at the coastline. However, I don't really care too much about officially when it's going to be incredibly humid. Dew points are going to be well in the 70s for days. So if you love tropical heat and humidity, you will love this. If you don't, the air conditioner, the heat pump, the dehumidifier will be your friend. Dehumidifiers flying off the shelves at hardware stores the next few days in Maine, okay? Not used to seeing this level of heat and humidity. I've seen dew points mid, even maybe some upper 70s next week. So that's the forecast. Temperatures will be going up quite a bit. If you like that sort of thing, this is going to be your time to shine. If not, be prepared to head to the lake, the pool, or the beach.